You stupid bitch. Yeah, you're a stupid bitch. You stupid bitch. You do that first.
Oh, hi, stupid bitch. How are you?
Good day.
It's nice
Evening.
to see you.
Always a pleasure to see you at this time of night.
Wearing the same shirt that you wore last time I saw you.
Look, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. Do you know what I mean?
Seems like only 10 minutes ago
I think it was
that I
about,
saw
yeah,
you.
I think it was maybe, 8. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Hmm?
Had a few reds. Not gonna
Mm.
lie. Feeling a little bit jolly.
Are we double reading it tonight?
We are double reading it. But before we get to that,
Mm-hmm.
um, I need to say something, which is welcome listeners to episode.
She's staring intently at me. We're not doing episode numbers
Oh,
just yet.
sorry. Okay. So welcome
Except, actually, you
to
can.
this
No, you
week's.
can.
Oh,
It's our
thanks.
90th episode.
Way to fuck me up. Oh, 90th episode. Whoa. That's
Yeah.
insane. Oh my God, 10 more to we're at 100. That's
So we're at
crazy.
100. I know.
Whoa.
That won't
That,
be till season 9, though, will it?
well, still, that's a massive achievement.
Go Earth.
But tonight's episode is my favorite pop culture.
Up.
And we're going to talk about Australian movies because Aussie, oi,
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 oi.
oi.
Because listeners, if you didn't know, we're broadcasting from Australia,
And guess
Brisbane,
what?
Queensland, to be quite accurate.
We're also Australian.
Are
E.
we have a dual citizenship, so you
I
know.
do. I'm Australian British. No.
What was that? That did not.
No.
That did not sound
Cleo.
English at all.
I wasn't being English. I was being Australian.
Oh,
No.
oh, okay.
Cleo.
Sure, that went right over my head. That one did.
Wow.
So, what
You
are you
dumb
drinking, you
bitch.
stupid bitch? Are you on a fucking rosé?
Now I'm all day rosé.
Oh,
really mixing shit up.
I smashed my glass like that, the other week.
Mm,
It got a little crack in it
from.
accidentally. So I'm just drinking from the stupid bitch sky one, with the frosted writing
Ah,
on it.
yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm drinking rosé, you dumb whore. And it's called Interlude,
You're a dumb hole.
and it's French.
Oh, that looks lovely. Is that another pear days?
Yes.
Is that the only wine that you have at home? You need to go and get some wine, seriously.
It's another 2022. So this is
Mm.
it's walking at this stage.
How's your rack feeling? Is it feeling lonely?
Empty. The rosé and white one's kind of
Is
good,
it
but
dismal?
the red one is fucking bare. There's 2.
Oh, poor
And since we've
baby.
taken 6 bottles of bubbles out of the other one, it's also getting a little bare.
So, do you have random bubbles over there? Not just 6 of the same, it's just all random bubbles.
Prosecco's a brute.
Mm, mm.
Variety is the spice of life.
Yeah. We're drinking yours first because I want to taste all the different ones that I haven't drunk before because all of mine are just Britas, which
All right,
is
well,
like
a
okay
good
because
one.
Brita is amazing. It is the
Well, let's
best.
do a Brita first because
Sure.
it's tradition.
It's a breakfast croissant, ham and cheese croissant bubbles.
Bubbles, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It pairs well with a ham and cheese croissant.
And a cup of coffee that you've just sculled quickly so you can get onto the bubbles.
Do you remember last year too? So we're talking about Eurovision, folks. We know that this is a month ago. But do you remember last year as well? We were at your house and we'd had our coffee, we had our croissant, and we're like, can we start drinking bubbles yet? And there was people like, no, not yet. We're like, okay. Make me
Get
feel
out.
weird.
Get
Thanks.
out.
Yeah.
We're opening. I'm pretty sure that by the time everyone was screaming everyone to sit down because it had started and they did the whole good evening Europe,
Good
good
morning,
morning
Australia.
Australia, we were like crack pop. Who wants
Bam.
a bubbles?
I remember Belinda and Maria walking up the stairs and I was like, did you leave your front door open? They're like, yeah, the door's just open. I'm like, we do true crime fucking podcast, you dumb bitch.
Well,
Lock your door.
look, I must say there's been a lot of youth crime in the area lately, so we are getting a
Has
little
there?
bit better at locking the front
Thank
door.
God.
So yeah, but we are a house like the front sliding doors always open even in winter.
My God.
Yeah. We like it. We like a strong breeze coming through. We like to freshen the house up.
Yeah,
We have
yeah, yeah, yeah,
pets, you know.
yeah, yeah.
But
Also,
you could totally shimmy up to our balcony because it's so low at the front, couldn't you? If you really wanted to get in. Oh, there's an open door. Let's see what's inside.
people break into fucking balconies 3 levels up here in fucking
Oh dear.
apartment buildings. Yeah, it's
What is
always
the
locked.
world coming to, please? What is the world coming to?
I don't know. Um,
Crime is quite high. I don't
crime is
understand
disgusting.
it.
What are you drinking, you dumb bitch?
Oh. Well, you're gonna love this,
Oh,
but sent my husband down to the
can I
first
just say
choice.
something?
Yeah.
So we've upgraded our microphones a year ago,
Based on my recommendation and research.
but you still have the arm for your old microphone attached to your desk next to you that I can just see. Like, is there
And
even a
this is
microphone
my
on
work
it?
from home setup too. So there's heaps of times people are like, have you got like a mic hanging out there? I'm like, yeah,
It's
what
still there.
about it? Well, there's a purpose for that because I think that one day I'll be able to figure out because I'm audio and technologically challenged, a way to sort of like splice them together so that when we do a duo podcast when our husbands come in, he can have this mic and I
That's
can
never going
have
to
this
happen, you
mic.
dumb bitch. You were never going to
Look at
figure that
might.
out.
Look at might. You don't know. I have
Oh,
hopes
I
and
know.
dreams. Okay. I have hopes and dreams. And I like it. It's still got the pink on it. It's the mic is nowhere near as good as these mics. These
No,
mics are excellent mics
compared to, yeah,
compared to our
previous.
oldies. Our oldies were like we paid like what
Unscrew it and dump
30
it.
bucks, 30 bucks for them on
I paid
Amazon.
$100 for a set. Came with headphones.
I think I might have paid 50 or 60. You got more than I did. And then
Mm,
Tyler got me the headphones for Christmas when he got me the laptop when we first moved up here.
that's right.
And then we researched this mic, and lots of podcasters were saying about how great it was. So
And it is great. I'm
it
not
is
going to
great.
lie.
It is. If there are fellow podcasters listening, then we
Get a
highly recommend.
Samsung. Is
What's
it a
it called?
Samsung?
No, it's it is a Samson,
Oh, Samsung.
SAMSON Q2U microphone. Highly recommend. I mean, I'm sure there's better models out there if you want to spend $1,000, but this cost us what, $100 each? Are you reading a
Yeah.
text message?
Vinny has just sent a thing to Stupid Bitches. He's put some bets on Eurovision through
Yeah, you
sports
can.
bet.
You could last year too, by the way. You could put bets
He's
on
put
last year.
$10 on Croatia with a potential winning of $21. He's put $5 on France to potentially win 75. France not going to win. And he's put $8 on Switzerland to win 32.
So Switzerland's down in the odds then.
Switzerland's gone down to third now because Israel's gone up to second.
Oh, so who's first?
Croatia.
Oh, it is. It's back at Croatia because it was Switzerland for a while there.
But then
I'm
they did
surprised about Israel going to second.
Yeah, me too. I think maybe
Mm.
they got a surgence of votes to get them through the semis.
I love the Israel entry. Like, I've liked it from the beginning.
Yeah, it's a good one, but it's not that good. And I hate it when support comes through in a sense of Eurovision when it comes to politics.
Yes,
No
it's
offense, it's the only
always
reason Ukraine
political.
won that time was
It's
because of the
always
war.
political when it comes to Eurovision, though, isn't it? There's always something that happens that's got
So annoying.
a political flavor to it. But anyway, before you cut me
Yes.
off, we were talking about what I was drinking, and I said that you would find this amusing.
Oh, yes.
Amusing. So, as I mentioned earlier, my husband went to go get my 2 bottles of Cab Sav for me this evening, and I'm drinking the same bottle I was drinking in our last pop culture podcast because he didn't know, of course, he had no idea. But it's Punter's Corner again from Coonawarra because I made a joke about how it was Vinny's wine last time because he's a punter now.
Punter. Well, as we just saw, he's just put bets. So speaking of the bets, I've been putting bets on his
2020, by the way, and it's from Coonawarra. So thank you.
You've been very fancy.
Thank you for letting me continue
You've been
with
very
that piece
fancy
of
with your wine.
information before you cut me up again.
Well, I've been winning money on our bets lately, so I've been backing the Dallas Stars. I like the Dallas for the green in the hockey, and the Canucks, and I'm winning money, and he's just spending it. I'm very offended.
But do you know what really bothers me about that is that you put money on the dogs and you bet, but you don't watch the dogs run. The
I know.
whole fun
They're not
part about
dogs.
it
They're
is watching it.
NHL.
I know that that's NHL, but there was other times when you're at my place when Vinny had all these winnings and you just kept putting them on the dogs and you weren't even watching them race.
That was once, and we were drunk and we were playing beer pong and listening to fucking music. I don't think anyone would have appreciated it if I changed the channel to the dogs.
Oh, we put it on all the time. You can put it on and then play music through the speaker.
Well,
God.
next
And
time.
sometimes they have really good background music as well on the dogs. A little bit of Springsteen.
So, yeah, how is your wine?
It's
So
great.
you've already done it. Pop culture ago. You're happy? Yeah,
It's
still happy with
2020, so it's not a
It's
baby.
definitely walking, I know.
Definitely walking. It's about to go to
Probably
preschool. It's
running.
about to go to prep.
Yeah.
For Queenslanders.
Have you got it signed into anything? Is it private or are you just going public?
So look, public school education all the way. Work for me, it'll work for my wine. Okay?
Exactly. Look at you now.
Look at me now. Public school. Public school.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Excellent education, as you can see from our podcast.
Yeah.
Very colourful and also varied.
Fruitful.
If you will, please. So how's your week been, you stupid bitch?
Week has been good.
Can I ask you a question before you start, since you cut me off before? Did you drink that whole bottle of white in the first episode?
Yeah.
You're a fucking animal.
I
had 2 tiny glasses of red and I'm shit-faced and you've drunk a whole bottle of white.
Thank you. I drank, I think, a glass during my segment, and then during yours, I just kept drinking. I was like,
just
oh God, what's happening to this bitch? Is she still in jail? Is she out? What's going on? So yeah, I drank.
Tiny bit disrespectful, by the way.
I don't like to put
to our sober tone of true crime.
I don't like to put
pop culture.
I don't like to put half-drunk bottles of wine back in the fridge because I only really drink wine now during pop culture. I mean, during our podcasts.
I know. I'm such a wine fiend. It's so bad that I really just can't control myself when it comes to wine. Give me a beer and I'll be like, you know what? I've had enough now. I don't really need any more beers. I'm full. I'm a bit pissy. That's enough. But wine, I just like
get that shit into me.
Mummy wants more wine.
Get Mummy another savvy beer. But yes, I have drunk it, and I plan on drinking this rosé during this segment as well. Well, not segment, episode.
Well done. Represent.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, hence 12 bottles of bubbles plus extras for Eurovision.
Yeah.
For 5 people.
Extra. I mean, last year I think we drank it was definitely over 12 because you brought a case of 6. We had a case of 6. Other people came and brought a couple of randoms that we also drunk.
I think we walked away from your house with a 6-pack of beer and a bottle of bubbles.
That's it. And then we walked away with a 6-pack of beer and a bottle of bubbles.
You walked upstairs. Yeah, oh, no, we were even upstairs. Yeah, we just walked to the fridge.
Because I remember Vinny saying to me, look, I'm going to take this 6-pack and a bottle, but there's still a 6-pack in the fridge. And both cases of beer were empty.
Yeah.
And there's one more bottle there. And I think there was a couple of like half drunk bottles around the room, but still we punched some alcohol, man.
That's what we do.
It's what we do.
That's what we do.
Tell them about your idea of what we're going to do next year.
Oh yeah. So we think for Eurovision next year, because we get up Wednesday morning, Friday morning, at 5 a.m. and we just start videoing and texting.
Well, not really. We get up. I got up at 4:15 both mornings and put the kettle on. I mean, because we have a coffee percolator, so I had that going, and I was drinking my first cup of coffee at 4:30.
Well, okay, we get up at 4:45 and do it. Put the TV on. As I said to you, I can stand in my kitchen, have a shit, watch TV, lean out the window and wave at the neighbors. We're in a 1-bedroom apartment. It's fine.
Have a shit. Vinny, what's happening?
Someone opens
I can hear it, but I can't see it.
Someone opens up the front door and I'm like, do you mind? I'm taking a dump.
So continue.
So the idea was, let's just fucking go away, get to Airbnb somewhere on the beach, somewhere in the mountains. Who cares? As long as we get TV. Wake up, go on Tuesday night, get up, drink bubbles, watch the semi-finals, have the day off the next day. Get up on Friday, drink bubbles, watch the semi-finals, have the day off the next day. Get up Sunday morning, get annihilated, drive home on
Yeah.
Monday.
And
day
that would
after.
be and we would not be in any state to drive on a Monday. So pretty much we're coming home Tuesday. So that's
Or
like
Monday
a
night.
whole week. It's a week. That's just
For
drinking. And do
Eurovision.
you know what? When I got up on Wednesday morning, I was like, fuck, I want a glass of wine.
I know. That's what I thought yesterday. I mean, this morning when
It's
we were
just
watching
like
it,
5 in
Vinny
the
and I were
morning.
sat there and we're like, fuck, now we've got to log on and work. And I was like, all I want to
Oh,
do is have a drink and fucking, at least we'd all be there as well in the one spot.
yes. I had to make myself presentable. And so both days I said to my boss, I'm going to be late tomorrow. It's semi one of Eurovision. And he's like giving me heaps of shit and laughing. Oh my God. Oh, maybe I should be late too. So I can watch it and I can tell you, what I think. And like
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
taking the piss out of me.
That works for me.
But he was totally cool with it. So both mornings I rocked up at 9:30, like Swan, and everyone's like, oh, some of my team leaders are messaging me going, hey, where are you? I'm like, it's semi-final 2 of Eurovision. I said I was going to be late.
Back the fuck off. Well,
no,
funny.
I would never say that to my team leaders if they're listening because I love them all very much.
When
But yeah,
on Wednesday, because we both had to work in the office, so we watched the semi-final, and then during the voting close period and all that shit, went and had a shower, and we were in work. I was in work by 7:30. It was great catching a bus in a city living.
I know because when you messaged me that I was like, what? How are they already at work? But yeah, I then fucked around for like a good hour before I got myself ready to go to work because I just wanted to have a nap. And I was like, oh my God, it's 7. Maybe I could have a quick like 45-minute and then get up and get ready and go to work. But I didn't. I just went on my phone.
Nice. Yeah, but you can't have a 45-minute nap at that time in the morning. You're just going to wake up
No.
feeling like shit.
Yeah, my whole routine was completely thrown out Wednesday and today. And now it's like, nearly 10 o'clock. I've
Yeah.
been up since 4. Yeah, Eurovision.
Fucking time differences. But my week, so I'm only going to touch on one
Fuck, it got us a while to get to that, didn't it?
One thing that I did this week.
Snip.
Watched this movie on Netflix called Unfrosted. Have you seen any of the trailers or any of the promos for it?
Oh, the one about the Kellogg's.
Yes.
And it's got Melissa McCarthy and the Mad
Yes.
Men guys in it and
Yes.
Jerry Seinfeld in it.
Yes.
Yes,
Exactly.
I know. I've seen a few bits. I really want to see it.
So I watched it, and so I'll go through the cast quickly. It's got Jerry Seinfeld, who also directed and co-wrote it, Melissa McCarthy, Max Greenfield, who's from New Girl, Hugh Grant's in it.
Yes, I
He
knew that.
plays Tony the Tiger from Frosties, the Frosties
Yes.
cereal. Amy Schumer, Peter Dinklage, Christian Slater, Dan Levy, James Marsden, Snap, Crackle, and Pop make an appearance in it. Fred Armisen, do you know the name Fred Armisen? He's the SNL guy.
Yeah, totally.
He's been in it for donkeys.
He used to be married to the chick from Handmaid's Tale.
Oh,
they met.
Elizabeth Moss.
Yes, they met on when she was on Saturday Night Live, got married, had a messy divorce.
Wow, because she's into Scientology.
I think he must be too.
Ick. And heaps of others that you'd know when you saw them. It's stupid. It is so stupid.
Don Hamm's in it too. You forgot
John Hamm. I do. Oh yeah, he's right after Fred Armisen. John Hamm's in it with 2 M's, please.
And also the blonde guy who was a politician in the white-haired guy.
Yes, and that's one of the heaps of you'd know if you'd seen them. It's stupid. It's really stupid, but it's funny stupid. It's based on a true story about the Pop-Tart Wars.
Yes.
That actually existed between Kellogg's versus Post.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if Post ever made it into Australia as a brand. And I don't know if they exist anymore in the US, but it's another cereal brand. And the war started when Post ripped off Kellogg's cornflakes, calling them Post Toasties. And that's a fact. So Kellogg's discovered that Post had developed a breakfast pastry called Country Squares that was shelf stable a shelf-stable pastry, the first of its kind
So
back
that
in the
means so
day.
many preservatives, guys.
Exactly.
So overproduced, it's not even funny.
Super healthy for you. And Kellogg's lose their shit
Full of sugar.
and they race to release something similar, which is the Pop Tart.
Pop Tarts.
It's actually really it's a funny watch. Like it's
Mm.
dumb funny, if you know what I mean. Like there's no, oh, this is an intelligence movie. There's a great scene where the cereal
Intelligence movie.
yeah,
Spy movie.
shut up, pursuing. There's a great scene where the cereal mascots, led by Tony the Tiger, all try to stop the Pop Tarts getting its clearance to run as an edible food thingy. So they get certified to be able to put themselves on shelves. But the cereal mascots in the movie all think that this is going to be the end of cereals. It's all going to be about Pop Tarts and shit. So they're like writing about the fact they don't want this to go ahead. And it mimics the Capitol riots. So you've got Tony the Tiger, played by Hugh Grant, stood there at the front of the fucking office while they're about to sign the, yes, you can put this Pop Tart on the shelf, with his suit ripped down, big buffalo horns, you know, that guy in the Capitol riots that had the big horns on and shit like that. It's so dumb. It's so funny. It's so good. And I recommend.
Oh, and I love Melissa McCarthy. She cannot do anything wrong in my eyes.
Vinny hates her. He thinks she's a one-trick pony.
Oh, how could she be a one-trick pony? She's got so many successful movies. I love her so
like
much.
one character, I think he means.
Oh, I see. But her one characters are so hilarious.
She's good in this. And even Hugh Grant's fantastic. Like, you know how Hugh Grant does comedies, but he's sort of a serious sort of actor as well.
Well, not in The Gentleman. Have you seen The Gentleman? The Guy Ritchie one?
Is he in that?
He's in heaps. Like he can do a range, old Hugh Grant. And think
Well,
of Bridget Jones as well.
I love him in Bridget Jones and stuff like that. Like he's funny, but like it's sort of a, when I was watching it, I thought it was like something of a stupid movie that he would be involved in. I didn't think he would be involved in it. He's very good in it. He's a very
Watch The
serious
Gentleman. He's great in The
actor.
Gentleman.
But how's your week been, stupid bitch Skyly Colette?
Okay, so how's my week been? Okay, so a couple of things I've already covered in the last podcast that I was going to do in this one. So I'm going to have to just look at my notes. Okay.
Oh, no, tell us again.
So I got a little Temu delivery this week. I know you love it when I talk about my Shein and my Temu
How long does a Temu
delivery
take to get from your order? Because I've seen something on Temu and I was like, oh, I might get that, but then I just didn't want to wait 3 weeks.
My Temu took a week this time.
That's
just
reasonable.
1 week. Yeah. So I'm wearing a little Gilmore Girl shirt. It says Stars Hollow. You know, I'm a massive fan.
We can't see jack shit of that shirt.
I got a little, it says it's tucked into my little skirt. Actually, I have to turn off the double view when we're podcasting because I just focus on myself. Oh, look, that looks horrible.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Just focus on yourself the whole time, do you?
That's why I turn it off. So I turn the view off because I just keep looking at myself when we're podcasting, like, oh, my face is weird. Oh, so it's very distracting.
I'm
so
constantly looking at myself during the podcast.
I know. So that's why I hide self-view. So I only see you. Like in the intro, I always have both of us. But then once we're getting into the serious stuff, I hide self-view. So I'm not distracted by my own image.
I'm always doing my hair.
So got a little delivery from Temu. I saw this thing the other week about cleaning the tracks in your windows. It's like this tool that you get. Yes. It's like a little brush. It's very skinny. It gets into all your nooks and crannies, gets underneath like your sinks and stuff, all the places, like a very, very skinny long toothbrush.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to it. And they wanted like $40 for a pack of 2 on Instagram. And then I found it on Temu for $4 for a pack of 3, please.
Wow.
So, and one of those, garlic things where you put it in your hand when you like, instead of like using a garlic press for fresh garlic, it's like a grater thing and it's just rocks up and down. Think of a seesaw, but you have a handle.
With the grater on the end.
Yeah. And you just put it on the chopping board and just go chuk, chuk, chuk over the top. That was $2. Got the Stars Hollow Gilmore Girls shirt. That was 20. The whole reason I got this Temu order, though, was because I've been obsessed with finding a pair of dinosaur pajamas. And I can't find any.
Is that since I said to you that I had a pair of dinosaur Peter
Well,
Alexander pajamas last
no, it was,
episode.
to be fair, it was way before that, but I've never found any that I've liked. I'm obsessed with dinosaurs. You know how much I love dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So I have been looking for the right pair for ages, and maybe what you said might have instigated me to have another cheeky look.
I
I
was
can't
going to say,
remember.
I call bullshit. I think it's definitely my influence.
But I had a look on, and I've actually tried to buy a couple from Shein before, but they didn't look great. They look like they'd be shit. Anyway, so I ordered these, and they're for adults. They're actually, it's like it's an adult woman wearing them. Got them delivered, and they are exactly like a 4-year-old child would wear. They're like long
Size
sleeves,
wise.
got like a collar that comes, like, you know, like sits here.
Like,
No, they're an adult size,
oh, okay.
but they look like the pajamas that a 4-year-old would wear.
Yeah.
With
Cool.
dinosaurs all
Cute.
over in
I
like a
love that.
pale green. And Tyler like saw me open them and I was like, yes, they look perfect. And the size is perfect.
Oh,
He was
perfect.
like, Sky, they look like something a small child would wear. Imagine the people packing these going, what is this adult person wearing dinosaur pajamas? Like, they sell them for adults. It's okay.
Exactly. Yeah. To hit the
So
market.
very, very happy with them. Have to wash them first before I can wear them though, of course, because, you know,
Timo.
well, it's also that weird fabric that you still want to just put. It's the processed fabric that you want to put through the washer first, just
You
in
don't want it
case.
to stick to your skin and static and shit. Yeah.
Chemicals on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was really exciting. And I also got a Fleetwood Mac shirt that's really cool as well. That I'm at $20.
Nice.
Yeah, very happy
Good.
with it. And then the other thing that I was gonna say, I'm gonna do two things.
Thank God you cut some out for the other episode.
About personal care. So we've
Here we
talked
go.
before about me getting my iron infusions, and I think we talked off camera last week or the week before about getting an iron infusion. But I've had, you know, for listeners who may not recall, I have really low iron. Alcohol reduces your iron intake.
Does it?
I just generally have low iron though, so occasionally I need to get, well, once a year I get an iron infusion, which is basically just going to the clinic and getting like a drip in you, and you get this iron and it makes you feel better. And the first time I ever got one, the doctor said to me, it will take about 3 weeks and then you're going to feel like Wonder Woman. And it's absolutely true. So it's been about 3 weeks now. And up until the last couple of weeks, I felt really sluggish and just so tired. And I always know when my iron's really low. Got the iron infusion pretty much from today. I feel like I could start running a marathon.
This girl is on fire.
Full of energy. I love it. I'm back. And the other thing about personal care is that I'm really overdue in getting my nails done, and I'm making sure it's next Thursday because I want to have nice nails for when we go away for my birthday. But I know you've probably been questioning how often I send you spelling mistakes or things in my text where it's hard to read. And I do usually do that. Sometimes I send you messages and you always get what I'm saying, but sometimes they're slightly off, or the grammar's off, or the spelling's off, or I misplace one word with another. But genuinely, this week, every time I send you a message, I feel like it's just like gibberish.
I've had icon infusion this week.
No, it's not that. It's because my nails are too long. When
Yeah,
I'm
icon
on my
infusion.
phone,
I mean,
I'm like,
instead of iron.
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, that was funny, and I missed that.
You totally missed it.
It was so witty.
Thanks. All right, you dumb bitch. You're taking the lead. It's your fave pop culture. What you got for us?
It is indeed. Okay, so I'm going to start with something that I think a lot of listeners probably don't know about, especially the international ones. So it's a little film called Paperback Hero, and I know that you haven't seen it because you said,
No.
"What is that?" when I told you I was going to do it.
I've heard of it, but yeah, I've never seen it.
So it's a 1999 Australian romantic comedy
film. Was it 1999?
1999 film starring Claudia Carvin and Hugh Jackman.
Oh, his breakout role.
It was one of his earlier things. I think it was just before he became Wolverine. I think it was just before he was like doing some stuff. It might have been around about the time that he did. What was the one that he did with John Travolta and Halle Berry? Was it Swordfish?
That was something about, yeah, like a. Well, actually, X-Men was 94.
No, okay, well, there you go.
Can't be. No, that's a lie.
No, that sounds about right, actually.
Obtained the film rights in 94, was 2000.
Okay, fair. Yeah, well, there you go. So this was 99, but then was Swordfish. When was Swordfish?
2001.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So this was, yes, before he, I think
Because
he was.
Halle Berry's in that.
Yes. I haven't seen it in years, but I remember
I
loving
don't
it
think
back
I've
in the
ever
day.
seen it. He's quite
Um,
young in it.
so it was one of his, OG roles before he
Mm.
became super famous. But it's a film that I saw. I'm pretty sure I saw it at the cinema and just loved. But I love Claudia Carvin. And before I go into the synopsis of the film, I'm just going to go back to a little thing that I wrote about Claudia Carvin, which I can't find. Oh wow, God, it's not starting off well, is it? So Claudia Carvin, Secret Life of Us,
Oh,
and
yes.
also oh damn it, Love My Way. You've seen Love My Way, right? Tell me you've seen Love My Way.
I don't think I've seen Love My Way.
Oh, so you love The Secret Life of Us, right? So these are both
Yes.
Aussie programs that were around about the time. They were about 20 somethings living their life in Melbourne. The Secret Life of Us was, and which was about the time that we were in our 20s, living
Yeah.
our life in the big wide world and being like, oh my
Of
God, so
Brisbane.
relatable.
Yeah.
But then after that, I think that went for about maybe 6 or 7 seasons, but I think she was only there for like the first 3 or 4.
I think I
And
only watched it for the first 3. Yeah.
yeah, once she left, I think I was over it because it had all weird characters and whatever. But I remember Deborah Mailman was in it, and she was from the beginning. I think she
Yes.
stayed till the end, but she was the housemate, and it was Samuel Johnson, the skinny
Yes.
guy,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
was
yeah. With the
Claudia
bulldog
Carvin.
chops.
Yeah, and I thought he was hot. I loved him. And she and it started because she was having an affair with her best friend's fiance, and they lived in the apartment either upstairs or next door, and they had that beautiful roof area where they used to all go up and
Is that
drink
the one
wine
that
on the
Joel
roof.
Edgerton's in? Is it him?
Yeah,
Who's
but
the
I think it was later on, much later on. I think towards
Yeah.
the end, he might have been Deborah Mailman's boyfriend. Anyway, a great show, excellent show, especially the time when Claudia Carvin was in. But after she left that, she went on to something called Love My Way. Now, I want to tell you the spoilers because the spoilers are killers. But if you haven't seen it, then you have to see it. Please, 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 please tell me you put it on your list.
Okay.
And you can't research it online because you'll accidentally get a spoiler, and the spoilers are the most important part of that show. That's how good it is.
It's a TV show, is it?
Yeah, it only goes for 3 seasons. The
Is
first
Hugh in
season.
it? I know Claudia Carvin.
No, just Claudia Carvin. Yeah. But it's excellent. Anyway, so a huge fan of Claudia Carvin. Love her, love her. She's in Bump at the moment, which I haven't seen, but I'm desperate to start watching. And once I convince Tyler to watch it with me. So loved the film because of her. And that's probably the thing that actually drove me to the cinema to watch it, because she was in it. But I need to go back to my notes. So I'm just going to give a little bit of a synopsis here. Okay. So I'll tell you a little bit about the plot, shall I?
Please do.
Truck driver Jack Willis from rural Australia writes a best-selling novel, but because of its romantic content, uses the name Ruby Vale, the name of his best friend. When a
Because it was the
publisher,
90s and men couldn't write romance.
exactly. Also, it was a truck. Like I'm talking, like he was in, the back of Australia. Like he was in one of those towns where it's all dust. They have one pub that, there's nothing there. It's just desert. And, he drives a big semi-trailer truck, like a huge, 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 huge big one. And that's what he does. He drives and drives and drives and drives. And then while he's driving in his downtime, he writes this novel, this romantic novel, and he gets it published under his best friend's name, and she doesn't know about it. So a publisher, Ziggy, decides to take the author Ruby Vale on. Jack is suddenly faced with a dilemma. He tells his friend Ruby, who's like a real tomboy who again lives in outback Australia, what he has done, and initially she wants to tell the publisher that he is lying. So truck driver Jack Willis from rural Australia writes a best-selling novel. but because of its romantic content, uses the name Ruby Vale, the name of his best friend. When a publisher, Ziggy, decides to take the author Ruby Vale on, Jack is suddenly faced with a dilemma. He tells his friend Ruby what he has done, and initially she wants to tell the publisher. Jack and his agent convince her to stay silent, and in exchange, they'll organize her wedding. She is marrying Jack's best friend Hamish.
Is
And
this
Ruby
Claudia
is
Carvin?
convinced.
Who's Ruby?
Yes. So
Yeah.
Ruby Val is Claudia Carvin. She's marrying Hugh Jackman's best friend Hamish.
Yeah.
And he wants to use her name and pretend that she wrote the book because they're just about to get published.
And I guess the ending, Hugh and Claudia get together.
Well, now you've just ruined it for everybody.
Well, come on. I think that was pretty.
Well, it's a romantic comedy. Come on.
It was pretty evident. It was married. She was going to marry the best friend, but then throughout all this, she realized that she loves him.
How dare
and he
you?
loves her.
How dare you? Anyway, Ruby and Jack go to Sydney to help promote the book. On the way, Ruby reads his book and realizes that the lead female character is herself. And the male protagonist, Brian, is Jack. She's deeply touched. Hamish, the fiance, arrives in Sydney. He knows Jack is the author and tells Ruby he knows just before she's about to go on a satellite feed through to London. All of this is too much for Ruby, and she makes her way back to her hometown.
And then he becomes a paperback hero and whisks her away.
You should just do this whole segment, I think. Well, I'm not going to tell anything more because, you know, I want to keep listeners interested and that they want to, you know, watch it.
It's pretty evident what's going to happen.
But if you're a fan of Claudia Carvin, it's really good anyway. And it's based in Outback Australia. And it's hilarious. It's super, super funny and super cool.
Any moments that you can tell from that are noteworthy?
You're a romantic, aren't you? No, I'm a truck driver.
Oh God.
That's Hugh Jackman. Everybody's got to be somebody. They're not just to fit in. They're not just, no, scrap that one. A local pub patron says, "You're not fooling anyone, mate. We all know you're a poet." And that's it. Because he took the whole ending bit.
That's excellent. I cannot wait to not see that.
Well, you're missing out. You're missing out, okay? Fuck you.
It's so typical of one of those movies from back then, and especially when Australia was trying to break into the whole fucking Hollywood scene.
I think you're being overly harsh. And like I said, it's one of my all-time favorite. Well, it's not one of my all-time favorite movies. It's probably my top 50. Okay?
Okay.
I made Tyler watch it and he loved it. Only because Hugh Jackman was in it and he loves Hugh Jackman.
Oh. All right. Well, all right, folks. Let's talk about another classic that's a true gem from Down Under. That was brief.
Can't wait to jump in and ruin the ending for everyone for you.
The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Which I actually haven't seen.
Get the fuck out of town.
I know.
This is way more iconic than Paperback fucking Hero. It's like Red Dog.
It wasn't supposed to be iconic Australian films. It was supposed to be Australian films. Okay? I was trying to give a taste of the Australian outback in my representation.
But I do look forward to you ruining the ending of a movie you haven't seen.
Yeah. Or ruining your retelling of it. Because I'm gonna.
This 1994 Aussie flick, brought to life by Stephen Elliott, takes you on a wild ride through the outback with
Who's Stephen Elliott?
He's the one who wrote it, I think.
You sure?
With 3 fabulous drag queens played by Hugo Weaving, Guy Pearce, and Terence Stamp. And let's not forget that Stamp's character was a transgender woman named Bernadette, adding another layer of depth to the story. Now picture this. A journey from Sydney to Alice Springs in a tour bus named Priscilla. You sound super creepy doing that. Along the way, they bump into all sorts of characters and groups, making for one heck of an adventure.
One heck of an adventure. One heck of a story.
What's even
Does that
better
sound really
about
Australian then?
yeah.
One heck of a story.
What's even better about this film is
The
how
costumes.
it broke barriers. It wasn't just your run-of-the-mill comedy. It brought LGBT themes to the forefront and did it with flair.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder it became a cult classic, I say, not just to Australia, but worldwide. Hashtag unlike Paperback Hero.
You fucking stupid bitch.
But
the one thing that I did left out of my notes is it grossed $1.4 million. Thank you very much.
wow.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
groundbreaking.
Yes.
But it didn't stop there with this movie. Priscilla inspired a whole musical.
Inspired.
Shut up, pursuing. It inspired a whole musical which hit the stage in 2006 in Sydney and then took the world by storm.
The world by storm.
From New Zealand to Broadway.
New Zealand to Broadway.
Plus, it snagged an Academy Award for Best Costume Design.
Best costume. I was just going to say that. I already knew that.
Yeah, but you didn't get to spoil it before I did. Adding some extra sparkle to its accolades. So if you haven't hopped on the Priscilla bandwagon yet, Skyly Colette, please make sure.
Bus, please.
Oh, the bus. Please make sure you give it a watch. It's one ride you won't forget. And considering the premise of the movie and the time it was made, it does actually age pretty well.
Isn't the bus called Queen of the Desert?
No, it's called Priscilla.
Oh.
You dumb bitch. Priscilla is Queen of the Desert. Though there was some controversy with regards to racism. You may recall, if you've seen the movie, the Filipina character called Cynthia, the gold-digging sex worker with her ping pong balls. You can't do that with a ping pong ball. It's one of the lines from the movie. I'm sure you can imagine what she did with said ping pong ball. 1999 was an iconic year for Australian movies, smashing through the global box office, please.
That was the year of Paperback Hero.
No, that was 99.
What'd you say?
94. I remember going to
1999.
I remember going to the movies to see Priscilla at the Carindale Cinemas. Do you remember when that's the
only cinema that was around here?
We had to go to see the bus. Yeah. I went there with Kylie, Belinda, and this other chick that Kylie knew from school, but I had fuck all to do with. I think it was at the end of the year too. So I think it was after we graduated. And that's how I knew this chick from school, but I had nothing to do with her until
graduated
afterwards.
A long, long time before me.
I did. I won't say what I need to say. Like 3 years. But a lot closer to when you graduated than when your husband did.
That's rich.
Anyways, we got to the cinema and we had a choice of Muriel's Wedding or Priscilla. And I hadn't heard anything about Muriel's Wedding at that point and thought it was like a romance chick flick. So I was like, yeah, I'm out. Priscilla it is. And it was amazing. Seeing people like gay people and drag queens at that. I think back.
People like gay people.
I think back then drag queens were more so we saw gay people and drag queens. And I think back then drag queens were the more preferred gay because they were seen less threatening to men's masculinity, if you know what I mean. Back in the day. Anyways, now they're being called out for being the devil for reading books to children. It's fucked.
Yeah, totally. Listen to our true crime people if you think that.
Yeah, exactly. The Preacher. Yeah. It was glorious. The songs, the comedy, the story itself. It was a revelation for a 17-year-old gay boy hiding in a big, beautiful body. Speaking of bodies, though, Guy Pearce was fine as fuck in this movie. His body is sculpted, which also helped my love for it.
I love Guy Pearce.
The scene where he goes full drag, takes some drugs, and then tries to hit on these burly guys at the bar, which I think is like an old drive-in theater in Outback. He gets the shit beaten out of him when the burly guys realize he's a queen. Bless.
What a cliche, Jesus.
So tell me you've seen it, right? Question mark. Next point. What's your favorite parts? Question mark. Nil. Remember when they met the First Nations fella in the Outback who ends up performing with them in drag? No, you don't. The frill neck costume during the Alice Springs performance.
Oh yeah, that's great. I've seen it.
Iconic. The part where Bernadette says to this rough-ass chick in an Outback pub. So they get out the bus and I think they're in drag and they get out the bus and I think it's in Broken Hill. Who gives a shit? But the chick gives them shit for what they're dressed in. And so Bernadette turns around and goes to her, now listen here, you mullet. Why don't you light your tampon and blow your box apart? Because it's the only bang you're ever going to get, sweetheart.
Ooh.
I loved it. Everyone was like, yes, you give it a shit. And she was like, I remember when that happened being like, oh my God, yes, girl, slay. Though we didn't say those things back then, but totally would have.
In 1994, you did
slay. Yes, queen, yes. But I would have if we did. Some other favorite lines from it are, that's just what this country needs. A cock and a frock on a rock as they climb Kings Canyon in full drag. And then this other one, I'm going to smack his face so hard he'll have to stick his toothbrush up his ass to clean his teeth. Or when they meet, so this is Bill Heslop. What's his character in Muriel? What's his name in Muriel?
Oh, it's Deirdre Chamberlain. I mean, is it Deirdre? Yeah. It's Deirdre Chamberlain.
Well,
no, I'm thinking
that's Deirdre Chamberlain.
It's Lindy Chambers. No, it's Deirdre Chambers.
Yeah, but what's the guy Bill Heslop's name? He's in
Bill
Muriel's.
Heslop is Bill Heslop in
but the actor.
Oh, Bill something else.
Anyway, he's in Priscilla, and they say to him, he's got his dog.
It's something Otto. He's one of the Ottos. I have to look it up.
I don't know if he's an Otto. Just type in Bill Heslop.
The nails are getting in the way.
Clickety clack, clickety clack.
Slop actor. You need to do this because you know I'm going to be Slop actor. Oh no, I went Bill Hospilopatactor.
Bill Hunter.
That's it, Bill Hunter. Sorry, he's not an Otto. You're right.
So
Barry Otto was who I'm thinking of.
Bill Hunter's in Priscilla as well, and he's in the Outback, and they meet him. He's married to Cynthia, the Filipino wife. And the guy says to him, oh, nice dog. What's his name? And he goes, herpes. If she's good, she'll heal. And another line is about trumpet. So Bernadette talks about her ex-boyfriend or ex-partner in the movie who they called Trumpet. And they called him Trumpet because he could fit a whole Monte Carlo biscuit in the end of his foreskin. So like a trumpet.
And see, this is why Paperback Hero is really good because it's got lots of those funny jokes in it, and you're not even going to give it a chance. You failed to give. Because you ruined the ending.
Oh, well, come on. I think everyone knew the ending. So here's some fun tidbits for it. Oh, no.
Can't stop progress. Oh, no, that's Muriel's writing.
Yeah, you dumb bitch. That's my next one. So it was a budget-friendly drag show. Despite its vibrant and extravagant drag costumes, the film had a relatively low budget. In fact, some of the costumes were created on a shoestring budget with materials sourced from op shops, thrift stores, and local markets. And they won Best Costumes for the Academy Award. But I think that's awesome because a lot of drag queens, especially back in the day before drag was so iconic, had to do really cheap fucking shit to make these extravagant things. The iconic pink bus called Priscilla used in the film was a real vehicle named Mardi Gras. It was purchased specifically for the film and later sold after production wrapped. The people who bought it hired it out occasionally, and you'll like this, including to the Whitlams, who used it as a tour bus for 6 months in 1994.
Oh my
Love
I
that.
love the Whitlams.
Then it disappeared without a trace. Finally, a guy contacted the History Trust in 2019 saying that they had the bus sitting on his property and no one believed him. The guy from the trust actually said, and in reference to another iconic movie, which you will appreciate, Michael sent a message saying he had the bus and wanted to sell it. I felt like I was in the castle. I said, tell him he's dreaming, said Paul Rees, head of the museum at the History Trust and former director of the National Motor Museum. We had we were a bit suspicious at first, to be honest, but we put our Sherlock Holmes hat on, and soon realised it wasn't a joke, so we started our investigation. The curators spent months determining if the bus was truly Priscilla, what made them confident in the beginning that it had the right number plates, animal print curtains and dashboard cover, and other bus things. But when they saw the pink scrapings on the bus, they knew they had the right one. So basically, it was on 11 April this year. The hunt was finally over and they had the original bus back and had received funding so it could be fully restored and kept as an iconic thing. Priscilla wasn't initially expected to be a commercial success, especially outside of Australia.
Yeah.
However, its positive reception and word of mouth buzz propelled it to become a surprise hit globally, winning over audiences with its hearts and humour. The character of Bernadette, played by Terence Stamp, was reportedly inspired by a real-life Australian transgender woman, Carlotta. Have you heard of Carlotta?
I think so.
Yes, you would have heard of Carlotta. She was a prominent figure in the Australian drag scene and had a successful career as a performer. So they used to always sort of not mock her, but impersonate her on things like Fast Forward. They'd be like, "Oh, Carlotta's here," and rah rah rah, and it'd be women doing like that yada yada drag thing. The film's extravagant costume designed by Lizzie Gardner and Tim Chappell, and I think he wore a dress to the awards made out of credit cards, were a standout feature and earned them an Academy Award for Best Costume. It was also announced last month that they are working on a sequel with the main cast reprising their roles, which is freaking amazing. Yeah, so Guy, Sebastian, Hugh Grant, all of them will be back in it. And quickly.
Did you say Guy Sebastian?
Guy Pearce.
Oh my God. I was going to say, I'm not watching it just because Guy Sebastian is in it. Gross.
No. And quickly, do you remember when the US tried to cash in on the same thing and they made their movie To Wong Fu with Love from Julie Newmar?
Yes, thanks to everything. And Patrick Swayze was in it.
Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, and the guy who played Luigi in Mario and Luigi, John Leguizamo.
Oh, John Leguizamo. Yep.
But it was nowhere near as good. It had nowhere near as much fucking.
It was quite popular though in the time, like especially in the States.
But it was no Priscilla. All right, that's me.
Do you know what I just Googled? Because I can't believe I've never Googled this before. But when you were talking about the Whitlams, because I love the Whitlams, and I just went, why are the Whitlams called the Whitlams? The band's name was chosen out of admiration for former Prime Minister Gough Whitlam and his wife, Margaret.
Did you not know that?
I didn't know that.
And Gough
Whitlam, I love that because I'm such a Gough Whitlam fan. You know how much I adore him.
Gough Whitlam presented them with the Album of the Year award.
Of course.
At the Arias.
I actually think I did that in my notes.
Yes. Yeah, that's what they called the Whitlams.
I had just forgotten that. Oh my God. I have a memory like a sieve.
All right, your next movie, you dumb bitch.
Okay, it's my turn.
I won't spoil the ending of this one, I promise.
You better not.
Well, it's not going to be as fucking Tuesday.
So I'm about to talk about The Castle. It's a 1997 Australian comedy film directed by Rob Sitch, written by Sitch.
Did he direct it and write it?
He did write it.
He was great, Rob Sitch.
What else did he do?
He was in Degeneration, and he was in
it says here Degeneration. Yeah.
And he was in a lot of Utopia. Did you ever see that on ABC? And I think that was...
Oh, yeah, the one about the government stuff. Yeah. When I was working at council, I used to always refer to Utopia.
And he was on The Late Show. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of cute, and I think there was rumors he was in that band, the Australian band that wore the hoods over their heads, like the bodysuits over their heads. What was that?
Which band is that?
Tism. They
Oh
thought he
yeah,
was
I
in
loved
that.
his
Yeah.
They were huge. Well, in Australia, they were huge for a time. Okay, so the castle's set in the humble working class suburbs of Melbourne, and the film tells the story of the Kerrigan family whose unyielding love for each other and their home is put to the test when they face the threat of eviction to make way for an airport. At the heart of the castle is Daryl Kerrigan, played by Michael Caton, whose unwavering optimism and love for his family shine through even in the face of adversity. This is going straight to the pool room.
Mm-hmm.
That's my dad. My dad always says that now, but that is.
Sorry.
No, go.
No.
My
Say that
dad
again.
always says that, like this is probably up there with one of my dad's favorite films because he loves everything. My dad is very Australian.
Yes.
Very much like Daryl Kerrigan. And
Yes.
like after the film, he used to always say, anytime we gave him a gift, it's going straight to the pool room. I'm never using it. I'm just keeping it. Like, I'm not going to use it. Which is totally Daryl Kerrigan.
Yeah, your dad actually does remind me of Daryl Kerrigan, a really supportive family father. But I
what do
say
you
that to
call
Vinny all the
this,
time.
darling? Rissoles.
What do you call that? Sponge cake. What's that on top? Icing sugar.
Your
See,
mum's
kids?
cooking the best meal right now in front of you.
Or Vinny's
You
favorite
kids are
one.
so lucky.
It's Vinny's favorite one. So I showed Vinny this about a month ago and he'd never seen it. And I hadn't seen it probably since 1997. And I didn't like it as much back then until I watched it this time. I was like, this is phenomenal. Is what's that, Charles? Chicken. What's that on top? Spices. No, seasoning. Vinny was cracking himself at it.
I know, it's the best. Daryl's wisdom, often wrapped in simple yet profound statements, endears him to audiences as he fights tooth and nail to defend his home no matter the odds. It's not a house, it's a home.
Yeah.
So, where am I going to go? I need to go somewhere else because my notes are all over the place. The film's title is based upon the English saying repeatedly referred to in the film, a man's home is his castle. Its humour plays on the national self-image of Australia, most notably the concept of working class Australians and their place in modern Australia. Shot in 11 days on a budget of approximately $750,000, the castle gained widespread acclaim in Australia, where it is considered one of the greatest Australian films ever made. It grossed Australian $10,326,428
and 92 cents
at the box office in Australia.
Wow, that's cool though.
So the Kerrigan home in the outer Melbourne blue-collar suburb of Coolaroo is filled with love as well as pride in their modest lifestyle, but their happiness is threatened when developers attempt the compulsory acquisition of their house to expand the neighbouring airport. The Kerrigan house is built in largely undeveloped housing tract on a toxic landfill and directly adjacent to the airport runway. Is that the runway there? Despite all this, sweet-natured family patriarch Daryl believes that he lives in the lap of luxury, blissfully unaware of his family's lack of style or sophistication.
Yeah.
He busies himself by driving a tow truck, racing greyhounds, and constantly adding tacky renovations to the house. So one of the tacky renovations is the fact that he turned the kids' treehouse into the greyhound. What is it? The greyhound, the pen that he had for the greyhounds. And what were they called? I actually don't have their names here. What do you call them? Oh no, I need to look it up. Because do you know the one thing that I couldn't find was that quote? One of my favorite quotes from this movie is when Eric Bana is talking about the move, about their flight and their trip when they go on their honeymoon.
Yeah.
And then the brother's saying all the time,
What movie did you watch?
And what did he watch?
He watched 2 movies. And he goes,
Twister, isn't it?
Yeah. And what's the second movie you watched? Do you know they're doing a sequel to Twister?
Oh, yeah.
It's coming out soon, Twisters.
So the dogs' names are Banshee, Trailblazer, Coco, and Son of Coco.
That's right, Son of Coco.
All right. One day, a property valuer arrives to inspect the house. Though he has no wish to sell, Daryl points out all the features of the property, believing they will add value to the appraisal. A few weeks later, he receives a letter informing him of the compulsory acquisition of his house for the sum of $70,000, which is such bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah.
His neighbors, elderly Jack, divorcee Yvonne, and Farouk and Tabula, recent immigrants from Lebanon, all received similar notices. Believing uncommon principle that the government cannot evict him unwillingly from his treasured home, Daryl attempts to fight the eviction. Agents from the airport try to bribe and bully the family into giving up, but their actions only stiffen the Kerrigans' resolve. Daryl hires an incompetent lawyer, acquaintance, Dennis Denuto, but Dennis's meagre argument that the eviction goes against the vibe of the Constitution does not go well in court.
Guys, isn't it? It's the vibe, Marbo.
It's the vibe. It's the vibe.
It's Marbo. It's a vibe.
It's the vibe, and no, that's it. It's the vibe. The vibe of the thing. It's the Constitution. It's Marbo. It's justice. It's the law. It's the vibe. Dennis Denuto. While awaiting the court's final decision, Daryl makes pleasant small talk with a man whom he meets outside the courthouse, Lawrence Hamill, Bud Tingwell, who has come to watch his barrister's son perform in court in a different case. The court rejects the family's appeal and gives them 2 weeks to vacate. The purchase price for the home is scarcely enough to cover a small apartment. Dejected in defeat, the family begins to pack.
Imagine being able to buy a small apartment for $70,000.
I know. That's so crazy. Imagine like the government coming and taking you home and saying, here's 70 grand.
Yeah. Do you know some of the other renovations he did when he's talking to the guy who's valuating it? And he's like, it's got a chimney.
Valuating it. It's got a chimney. Does it work? Oh, no.
I know. It's just there for looks, but that's got to add something, right? Is that legal? Nah.
Tell them they're dreaming.
Yeah.
A new breath of hope comes with the surprise arrival of Lawrence, who reveals himself to be a retired Queen's Counsel. Lawrence has taken an interest in the Kerrigans' case, in part due to his extensive experience in constitutional law, and offers to argue before the High Court of Australia on their behalf for the public good. Lawrence makes a persuasive case that the Kerrigans have the right to just terms of compensation for acquisition of property under Section 51 of the Australian Constitution. He closes by paraphrasing Daryl's own comments that his house is more than just a structure of bricks and mortar, but a home built with love and shared memories. And I'm not going to keep going because I want people to go and watch this film. So now I'm going to go through some quotes.
Excellent.
This is going straight to the pool room.
Let's go. I say that too to Viddy, and he didn't really know what it meant until after he watched it the other week.
What about tell them they're dreaming?
Oh, tell them to dream. How much, Dad? There's jousting sticks on the trading post. How much they want? $74.
Tell them they're dreaming.
Or then when he gets through, he just shortens it down. Dreaming.
What about Dad? Hey, Dad. Dad dug a hole.
Dad dug a hole.
Dad, I dug a hole.
Yeah.
Well done, Dale.
What about when he's sad and he's upset? He's up in the roof and he goes, "Hey, Dad, yeah, dug another hole. It's filling with water." He's like,
and what about when he says about the other son? He's an ideas man.
He's an ideas man. He is, yeah.
We always say that. You're an ideas man.
He put the hose on the end of the broom.
So he could wash the dogs.
The boat, yeah.
Oh, the boat, and then he does it for the dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're going to Bonnie Doon. We're going to Bonnie Doon. We're going to Bonnie Doon.
Doesn't the mother go, what's his name? What's the dad's name?
The dad's name's Daryl.
Daryl, because he keeps singing it. It's like Daryl, Going Bonnie Doon.
And then when they get there, there's like the fly trap that just
The bug
keeps going
zapper.
off over and over and over. And he's like, how's the Serenity?
That's one part that Vinny was wetting himself at. So they're sat on the porch looking out, and the bug zapper's in the background, just constantly. Zzz, 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 zzz. And it's just like, how's this, kids? How's the Serenity? You can't buy this.
You can't buy what I've got.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, I've got two parts that I remember and loved about it. Do you remember when Eric Banner's in it as well?
Oh,
And
Eric Banner is exceptional in it.
When he was doing the kickboxing against the boxing bag. No, hold it. No, hold it.
Yeah.
Whoever to the chick and keeps kickboxing it.
And what about when what's her name? Sophie
Lee.
Sophie Lee does her hair.
This is the next thing I've got in it, is where the mum sat down and she's getting her hair, because Sophie Lee's a hairdresser. She's the first person to graduate from something, because she's graduated
Dad's
with a diploma.
so proud.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to say it, but she's his favorite. We all know.
She graduated from hairdressing school, and the mum sat there with all these curlers in her hair, and she's like, "Mum, are you worried?" No, because she's worried about the house thing, and she keeps asking these questions. And then you see the next scene, and the mother's stood on the porch with her hair up like a fucking, like she's been electrified from the daughter's fucking curlers. Yeah.
Dad reckoned that fishing was 10% brain and 95% muscle, and the rest was just good luck.
That's 105% right there.
Yeah, I showed it to Tyler a little while ago, probably like 2 years ago, and he was just cracking up. I was
going to say Tyler would have to love that movie.
Yeah, but Sarah and I always quote it to each other. We're always like, "It's going in the pool room. Tell him he's dreaming."
Straight to the pool room. What's this? It's a beer mug. Straight to the pool room.
It's Dad's prized possession. We know where Dad's prized possessions are going. It's going straight to the pool room. Oh, come on, Dal. You got to use it.
Nah.
Come on, Dal.
It's too good.
Nah, it's too good. It's too good. It's going straight to the pool room.
All right. So that's my last one.
Yes, let's do Muriel's wedding, because I'm going to just jump in constantly.
Well, I'm going to switch
you
gears.
You are the dancing queen, strong
young and free, only 17. Let's switch gears to another Aussie flick that's near and dear to many hearts, such as mine and of Sky's.
Mamma Mia.
Muriel's
Here I
Wedding.
Go again.
Directed by PJ Hogan, this 1994 comedy drama is a real treat. Picture this. Toni Collette leading the charge alongside Rachel Griffith, Jeannie Drynan, Sophie Lee, and Bill Hunter. The story revolves around Muriel, a bit of a social misfit dreaming of that perfect wedding and a fresh start away from her humdrum hometown, Porpoise Spit, all the way to Sydney. Jump in.
So Toni Collette, this is her breakout role before anyone knew who she was.
Rachel Griffiths.
She was and Rachel Griffiths in this I love Rachel Griffiths. And she's in that movie I was telling you about the other week, that Aussie one where in the boat where all the Americans come over and get married in Australia, and I said it was hilarious.
Oh, I can't remember.
And I was telling you about the girl with the big boobs, and everyone thinks she's really hot. She's in this first season of the Black Lotus. She's the daughter, White Lotus. She's the one, the blonde one. Yeah.
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney, yes.
No, not Sweeney Todd.
Something Sweeney. Sweeney.
And that guy from...
the Aussie one.
No, the guy from Scream Queens.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Rachel Griffiths is in that.
What's it called? How Did We Get Here? Or...
The movie?
Yeah.
No, it's called...
Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney. It's called... I don't even know.
So now onto its premise. Muriel's Wedding strutted its stuff at the 1994 Toronto International Film Festival before hitting screens down under in September 29. Before hitting its screens down under on 29 September. And let me tell you, it didn't disappoint. How did it do at
Toronto Film Festival? I did not know that it was launched there before it came to Australia.
It must have done well. I guess, because critics were all about it and even snagged some award nominations,
I've seen that
including,
film probably like 50 times.
yeah, I've seen it more than I have Priscilla. But yeah, so Tony got a Golden Globe nomination for it. So,
Mm.
as I was saying, when I saw Priscilla, this was on offer as well, and I was initially like, ick. I
Yeah,
have to
because it's about a
say,
chick getting married. I remember when I got dragged to see it
yeah,
by our dear friend Poodle, who doesn't listen to the podcast, Poods. Um, but I remember she dragged me to see it, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to really be
yeah,
into
it
this.
sounded
And
like a chick flick
we
type thing.
were obsessed
Yeah,
after we
same,
saw it.
same.
Absolutely obsessed. We watched it 1,000 times. I think we went to the cinema to see it a couple of times as well.
Well, I didn't see it till it came out of the cinema because I was like, what is this? I didn't really like it had Miri. You remember the promo thing of her holding the
Oh yeah,
bouquet
yeah,
and
yeah.
shit.
And it looked weird. It looked really
Yeah.
weird.
But I have to say, I think it is probably my fave out of that and Priscilla. Both are amazing, but this one is that one I could watch anytime. It's such a
Mm-hmm.
lovable story. The girl who just wants to be accepted, but is a dork, a lovable dork, and it makes
Huge dork.
she makes her escape to Sydney and starts enjoying her new life. It totally launched the careers of Tony Collette and Rachel Griffiths, with them both going on to do amazing TV shows and movies. So good.
At the video shop, remember? They worked in
Yes.
the video shop.
Oh, no, she worked at the video shop across from where Rachel
Across,
Griffiths
that's
worked. Yeah.
right. And then the dude used to come in all the time. It's
Yeah.
not what's his name? Matt. Oh, what's his name? Matt Day.
Ah, yes. Yes. So there's so much you could say about the movie, but it'd just go on too long. But a quick fun fact. You know the iconic scene where she crashes the cool chick's holiday on a hibiscus island, and Rhonda tells Tanya Degano, who tries to get Rhonda to have a drink with them and leave Muriel by herself, and Rhonda says, Nicole's having an affair with Chuck. Muriel saw them fucking in the laundry room on your wedding day. Stick your drink up your ass, Tanya. I'd rather swallow razor blades than have a drink with you. And oh, by the way, I'm not alone. I'm with Muriel. Brilliant scene. That scene is actually filmed at SeaWorld's Nara Resort and not on Hibiscus Island,
No.
would you believe? Yeah, we did a tour of, because when I was through work looking for event spaces, they took us down to SeaWorld Nara Resort and they told us that exact area where they did that.
Oh my God,
But
that's
as I said,
hilarious.
so much to talk about. So let's just get to the classics. The Heslops. You're terrible, Muriel.
You're terrible,
Do you
Muriel.
remember how much of a fucking iconic line that was?
Was the best. Along with oh my God, it's Deirdre Chambers. Deirdre
Deirdre Chambers,
Chambers
what are
is
you doing
here.
here?
What are you doing here?
Scooch over, Stephanie, or whatever that other kid's name was, and you can't stop progress. What about the mother? How devastating was the mother's storyline?
Oh, it was awful when she gets caught for stealing those shoes and
And
then they
then,
just wring her out to dry.
and she gets done for suicide. And do you remember when she gets done for suicide?
She
And
burns
then
the
she
whole
commits her,
backyard.
yes. And then when she's at the wedding and Muriel doesn't even see her, it's
Yeah.
such a tragic fucking story. The brothers. Do you remember her brothers? How
Oh,
fucking rotten they were and
they're
shit.
all in Love My Way. And one of the really gross brothers ends up being super hot as well. He's a main character in Love My Way. But talking about
But they made the brothers completely gross in the movie, didn't they?
oh yeah, totally. It was well, they made everyone seem really gross in the movie. But
Yeah.
and talking about like Sophie Lee's also in
Yes.
Mira's Wedding,
That's
who's
Tanya
also in the
Degano.
castle. Yeah.
What about it's Mario now?
But you know when you were talking about when they go to what island is it?
Hibiscus.
Hibiscus Island, and then she's like, "Wait, let her finish her orgasm."
Oh
Remember
yeah,
when
no,
they're like,
that's in the club before they go there because she's
"Yeah," because
like,
they
so
don't
where you
want her to
going?
drink.
Yeah, they're going to the Hibiscus Island, and they were telling Muriel that they don't want her to hang out with them anymore, and
Yeah.
she's like, no, wait, let her finish her orgasm first. So long, porpoise spit. How everyone says that now from that era. Anyone from that era, anyways, will say that whenever they're going on holidays or leaving the holidays. So long, porpoise spit.
Mm,
Do you remember?
yes, totally.
Tim Sims, her made-up boyfriend.
Yes.
She's dating Tim. Tim who? Tim Sims. What about when they go out night clubbing and I think she brings Matt back, the guy that kept going into the video store, and then Rhonda brings those two Navy guys back,
Yeah.
and then that guy
They're throwing her around the room and she's fucking the shit out of them.
yeah, and then the Matt guy from the video store goes to undo her zip from her pants and
And
pulls the
it's the
beanbag
beanbag.
down, and the balls go flying everywhere. And then Rhonda's laughing, and then next minute she can't feel her legs.
Yes.
And she becomes paraplegic.
And then she becomes a paraplegic. It's so brutal.
Her when she keeps the photo album of all of her wedding dress try-ons under the bed when she goes to all the wedding stores pretending she's getting married.
Yeah.
So sad. The wedding where she marries a
Yes.
South African swimmer.
Yes,
And
but
he's
let's go
disgusted
back.
in her.
Let's say so she answered an ad that was in the paper because she was so desperate to get married and validate her life by being a bride.
Yeah.
And she answers an ad in the paper, and it's a South African who just needs a bride to be able to compete in the Olympics in Australia.
Yeah.
And so it's all like a total arranged marriage. And in the end, he falls a little bit in love with her, doesn't he?
Well, he's disgusted with her at first,
Yeah,
and then they end
completely
up
disgusted with her.
having sex. Yeah, he falls for her a little bit, and then you got the wedding where the mother sees her and she's standing there to be at the wedding, and she just bursts past because all she was obsessed with was with the wedding. The song contest on Hibiscus Island.
Oh,
Waterloo,
yeah.
I was defeated, you won the war. So the ABBA, do you remember the ABBA revival it brought? That whole movie? It was just ABBA
I was
sensation.
obsessed. And I remember my mum saying to me, because I became super obsessed with ABBA, and I'd always had liked ABBA a little bit before then, but I just went out and brought the albums. I was listening to
ABBA
the songs
Gold.
all the time. And mum was like, oh my God, ABBA's making a comeback again. Will they ever die?
No. Fun fact. So apparently ABBA only gave permission for their music to be used in the film 2 weeks before the shooting commenced. And if they hadn't, the producers would have changed her favorite band to the Village People.
No.
Yeah. So it would have been Village People music instead of ABBA music.
Oh, that would not be the same.
Well, you don't know. It may have still held something, but yeah, ABBA was great. And the musical that it spawned. So it was modernized and scripted from the original screenplay into a musical. The same writer, PJ Hogan, and music by Kate Miller-Heidke and Keir Nuttall. They did a great job. We went and saw it down in Sydney. They modernized it. So you know how she wants to be famous and popular and shit. It's all about selfies and fucking followers and Instagram and shit like that. And they actually it translates really well. The songs are amazing. So
I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I've seen it in the theater in Brisbane.
No. It's a musical stage show.
Yeah, musical stage show. I'm sure
it's
I've
so
seen it.
good.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so good.
I saw it with Poodle. We went to see it.
The songs are amazing. We saw it in Sydney a few years ago, and Vinny saw it again 6 months later when it came to Brisbane with workmates. He loved it so much. It includes a few ABBA songs, but mostly new ones. You're fucking amazing, so keep your head up. So keep your head up. Rhonda's singing that to Muriel when she's like down on herself. It's really clever, and they really do it justice.
And what about Rhonda when they all come around to her house when her mum takes her home to pop a spit? And then she's like in there in the room, and then Muriel comes back and
she's in there with Tanya Degano.
Yeah. And she's like, and you three, what a bunch of cocksuckers.
What a bunch of cocksuckers.
Goodbye, Papa Spit.
So long, Papa Spit. Yeah, such
Goodbye,
a great movie.
Cineplex. Goodbye, Surfy guys.
Yes. So good. I actually could watch it again. But you got to watch Priscilla. You just got to give it a go.
No, I'm going to watch this when I go to bed tonight. I'm going to put it on.
But give Priscilla a go as well.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening. We hope you liked our take on Aussie films that we loved. Even though Bino interrupted my first one and thinks it's shit.
Oh, well, come on. That was fucking a given.
How dare you? How fucking dare you?
You could have done Red Dog and it would have been better. Okay.
I was going to do Cracker Jack, and then I changed it because I thought, I wanted to spice it up with a little bit that's people that didn't know much about.
Total predictable movie.
You stupid bitch.
You stupid bitch.
You stupid bitch. Tune in next week.
For more true crime. Murderous.
And then pop culture. And then true crime. And then pop culture.
TCPC.
Good night, you stupid bitches.
Good night.
Yeah, that stupid bitch. He's a stupid bitch. What a stupid bitch. That stupid bitch.